You're all set.
Okay, welcome everybody tonight to our February workshop meeting, and I hope everybody's safe and home and not going out. I spoke to the police chief a couple of times today and our ambulance chief, and things have been pretty quiet, so hopefully we'll get through this. And I talked to the highway superintendent. They're struggling up there, but they're getting the job done. I appreciate all the work they do. So with us tonight are our town board members. We have Andrew Regenbaum, Steve Moreau, Steve Bedetti, Sylvia Santiago, and our town attorney, Dave Zagon, is on. And thank Patrick Mangan, our IT expert, for putting this together. So first item on the agenda tonight, it has to do with the New Windsor Police Department. The first issue is some new patrol vehicles. They haven't had any cars for a while, and the fleet is in pretty bad shape. I had them write up some numbers for me, and some of the cars have some really high mileage, 137,000, 107, 114,000, 110, 117,000. And that's getting into, if not the danger area. So we have purchased 2 used vehicles this year, as the board members know. We got them from a local fire department for $15,000 each. One is for a canine, and the other one's on patrol. So the proposal here is purchasing of 5 vehicles. There'd be a purchase lease program. We're selling some vehicles that we no longer need, so that will help us out. So this will be spread over 4 years, and the down payment will be the selling of the used vehicles. So it's a 4-year lease purchase, and I think this is probably way overdue. The fleet is not in good shape. When you have those kind of mileage on a police car, they go usually 24/7, so you're presenting a bit of a danger to the officers. So that'll be on the agenda. The next item that I have on the police department just says the board members know, and a reminder to the public, that we are outfitting our police department with body cameras. We're getting 50 of them. This will eliminate a lot of issues for everybody's in favor of this. The police in favor, the general public's in favor. I don't see any downside of this. Certainly would help in any investigations. We've been very fortunate to have some donations for these cameras. The total bill was $37,630. We have received the following donations: Storage Boss $1,000, Walden Savings Bank $500, McGoey Hauser Etzel $5,000, Camo Pollution $2,000, M&T Bank $1,000, Marshall and Sterling $2,000, Brooks Funeral Home $500, Anheuser-Busch out at the airport $6,850. And the proceeds from selling we had an old military vehicle that I saw at one of our buildings down the airport, and I asked about it. We really have no use for it. So we sold that for $2,800. So right now we have we have $24,000, and there's one other rather large business in town who's going to make a donation. So they have these folks have taken the burden off the taxpayers. And this is probably a project that's kind of long overdue, and I think it's going to help us a lot. I've talked to Patrick Mangan and the chief today. Hopefully by Wednesday, we'll have these cameras up and running. So we've done some tests, and hopefully this will enhance our police services. The next item is for these cameras. It's a magnetic mounting device. The device that came with these cameras wasn't wearing well when we tried them out in the field, and they were falling off. So the police chief has recommended that we purchase these 50 magnetic mounts for $2,500 total. And in his memo, the likelihood of staying in place on the officers should they be involved in a physical confrontation or foot pursuit, these will be much more advantageous than the ones that came with. So I'm certainly suggesting that we get these mounts for the police department and the cameras. The next item also has to do with the police department. We had a little issue with some evidence that we kind of lost somehow that was out at the airport. Fortunately, it wasn't a very serious case, so it didn't amount to much. But I spoke with Patrick Mangan. We put some cameras out there. Now we have cameras on the lot, and Keith Bedetti is in the process of getting some prices to put a fence around it. You cannot have evidence just sitting out unsecured. So this will secure the evidence, and we'll also have cameras now. So if anything happens, we'll be able to go, as they say, go to the cameras and see what's what. So the price for the cameras was $1,989.28, and I'm waiting to get the information from Keith. I think he's getting one more quote for the fences. So when we do impound a car or take a car as evidence, we'll now be in a secure area. I'm just kind of long overdue that we do this. Next item on the agenda will be a couple of public hearings on Wednesday, both having to do with the towing law. So we're repealing an old towing law that was in effect for a long time, and I don't know what happened, but sometime along the way, it was not followed anymore. So when I got into office, I asked about it and said that, well, we haven't been doing it much. So we're going to also have a public hearing on a new towing law. So we have put together a new towing law, and we've had the tow operators who do business with the town in to listen to their comments on the law. And we've taken them under consideration. And this law is to protect the customers who use these towing companies that we have on our list. So it kind of regulates what they can charge, and it's just, it seemed to me, you need to have this in place. It's only for those towing companies who we dispatch, not for somebody who you call yourself or somebody who just comes along. But if our dispatches this towing company, then we are regulated. So there was a lot of work that went into this, and I'd like to thank the town attorney, the police chief, and Councilman Bedetti, who's also our chief dispatcher back there. And I think we've kind of got this where it should be. We have really been working this for 6 or 8 months. So I think we'll have a couple of public hearings to repeal and get the other one going. And then as soon as we do, we'll get it up and running. And they have to pay a fee to be on a list. And you really need to regulate things like this, because we don't want to give an appearance that we, the town, is getting anything when we send someone to tow a vehicle. The next item on the agenda, just to bring the board up to date, everybody's familiar with the Brack property, which is that 930 Raz, which originally was scheduled to be some kind of law enforcement building, and turned out that didn't work out. There was a school that went in there, and then my first week when I got here, I got a call from the government that they wanted to meet with me, and they wanted the town to pay them $750,000 that we had received in rent for the building. So I met with them early on in the first week or two, and we kind of got along pretty good, and they kind of agreed to forget the $750,000, which I thought was pretty nice of them. And now they have kind of started to hold our feet to the fire, and what they really want to do is sell the building. I'm not too sure that we want to buy the building. The price is in the neighborhood of $1 million to $1.5 million. So we had a phone conference with them the other day, the Brack people from the government, and we had a developer at the airport, Simone Group, on, and they may be interested in that. So hopefully we're going to get this thing concluded, because it really could have turned into a major disaster for us, but the government is always here to help us, and I appreciate the fact that they did not look to get all that money back. The next item on the agenda is a speed survey that we did. It's the 12 roads on the western end of town. We have recommendation from the consultant that we hired, Mauser, I think it is, Mauser, you're a consultant. And he recommended that the speed limit be lowered in all those areas to 30 miles per hour. We also have a recommendation from the police chief that they all be lowered to 30 miles an hour. And the study found that in some of those areas where it was 40 miles an hour, there was an excessive amount of accidents. So I'm kind of recommending that we lower these speed limits, and there's a process here. So once the board approves it, then it has to go to the Orange County. They have to file some paperwork with the state DOT. Then they have to agree with it. So it's certainly not a done deal until we get the paperwork back. But this is just the first step in, I think, just getting these speed limits to where they should be, because that western end in the last 10 or 15 years has become pretty populated. There was a note from the consultant that I'll need to speak to the police chief about, that we need an enforcement plan. So I'll speak to Chief Doss about that, but this is going to take a little while to work its way through the system. So we'll see how that goes. The next item on the agenda, and I think I probably maybe jumped the gun a little bit, we're going to have a public hearing in March for this hazard mitigation plan. And it's something that we have to do. And it basically simply is, if we don't put this in place, then we're not eligible for any FEMA money. And most of this stuff, I kind of read through it pretty closely this week. And most of the things are weather related. So storms and wind damage. So we needed to do this to stay qualified for FEMA money. I hope we never have to apply for any FEMA money, but we have had some issues in the past, and hopefully we don't have any more. There was been a couple of meetings on this, and we'll call for a public hearing, and we'll have it, and we'll see what people say, but we definitely have to do this. The next item on the agenda is, we've been working on this comprehensive master plan for a while now. We've had a series of meetings. We hired Christian O'Donnell to help us out with this. And it also is including some zoning changes that we have kicked around with all the folks who are deeply involved with these zoning changes, like Jen Gallagher from the building department, the attorney's office. And Dave, did you want to talk to this now, or you want to do it tomorrow, Wednesday? David, is he here?
Yeah, Judge, I'm here. I mean, there's really not much that I think needs to be said. Steve were both on the committee. Sylvia was always present at the meeting, so they're certainly aware of what's contained within the plan. If anybody wants me to review what the proposed schedule is going forward in order to try and get this plan enacted, along with the local law that seeks to enact the zoning changes that are recommended in the plan immediately anyway, I can do that. But otherwise, I don't see, any point in my going over what's actually contained within the plan. Kristen O'Donnell, the land use planner, is going to make a presentation to the board and to the public on Wednesday evening. So.
Okay, yeah, it's like Councilman Bedetti and Councilman Moreau were there. So the only thing is that we're going to have a special meeting with a public hearing because we needed a 30-day thing. So March 10th, there'll be a hearing on this comprehensive master plan. The reason we couldn't do it at the March meeting, we needed a 30-day time period, and it wouldn't have given us enough time. So we'll have a quick public meeting on public hearing on that March 10th. Okay, I think that's it that I have here. Before I go to executive session, any board members want to say anything about anything?
Dave, was there someplace these people are going to be pointed to see what's being changed in the comprehensive plan?
Who's these people? What do you mean?
Anybody that wants to see it, like the
It's
outline changes.
Yeah. So once it's introduced at Wednesday's town board meeting, and you guys vote to hold a public hearing on March 10th, the day after, I will have them. Actually, I'm actually going to have Patrick post it tomorrow. I don't know that many people will get to see it before the meeting, but it will be posted up on the website all throughout from tomorrow through the date of the public hearing. It'll also obviously be available in the town clerk's office. So people will be able to see it if they wish, and then comment on it at the public hearing. They'll actually be able to comment on it should they be able to see it tomorrow during the public comment session, but there won't be a back and forth between the board and the public tomorrow night. That'll be saved for the public hearing. Does that answer your question, Steve?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
just one more thing, a public service announcement. If anybody, I was out all night. If anybody has any fire hydrants on their lawns, if they could help the fire departments out by cleaning them, if you're listening, that would be awesome.
Hey, yeah, good point. I mean, if you have one on your property, you really should make sure that the firemen can get to it if they have to get to it. Okay, so I think at this point, let's go to executive session. So Patrick, you want to click off the public and let me know when we're off?